Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be taking another look at the Natasha Denona Zendo palette, but this time we're going to be looking at dupes. So I had mentioned in my first impression video, if you missed it, I will link it in the cards, I'll link it in the description, but if you missed that video, I did just a first look. We created two different looks, swatches, all that, of the palette the day that it released. And I said in that video I was going to give you a dupes video, and that is what we're doing today. So I'm looking at two affordable palettes. We're going to do swatch comparisons, and I'm going to be putting one of those affordable palettes up against the Natasha Denona palette, and we're going to create this look. So let me know, before we get into the video, which side do you think is the Natasha Denona? The left side or the right side? What do you think? Leave me a comment and let me know. And yeah, we're going to just see if we can create the same look, how the formulas compare, and yeah, if we want to splurge on Natasha Denona or get the look for less. Let's see. If you are new here, hi, my name is Jamie. I do beauty videos twice a week. If you like dupe videos, if you like drugstore makeup, if you like makeup reviews, hauls, first impressions, all things beauty, then I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel before you go. And if you guys would like to see me dupe this Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, then keep on watching. Okay, so I have most of my makeup on. I figured I would just give you a rundown of what's on my face just to get that out of the way. Trying out some new products from Hailey's Beauty. I've got their concealer. It's their Revive Concealer Cream. It's way too light for me right now. This is the shade Fair Light Neutral, and it's too light. So if you're near my skin tone, I would definitely go a little bit darker. But I also tried the Retouch Soft Focus Setting Powder, which is kind of like a banana-ish shade. I don't know if you guys can see. And that helped kind of deepen it up a little bit, so it's not looking quite as bad. And then I do have the Hula Glow, which is their newest release, on for bronzer, and I love it. I feel like I could probably blend it out a little bit better, but I really, really like the finish. I actually, to be honest, didn't think I was going to love this because Hula is a bit cooler than I like for, obviously for bronzing. It's more of like a contour shade. It's because it's cool tones, and I don't love like super cool tone bronzers, but this one is not cool toned. I actually don't think this is like Hula only glowier. I feel like this is a little bit warmer, but that's just my first impression anyway. I tried this on TikTok. If you want to see this or the Hailey's products, you can check out my TikTok. I also have the ColourPop Feather Effect Styling Brow Wax on my brows with a mixture of this e.l.f. pencil and the NYX Lift and Snatch. And then on my cheeks, I have the Milani Cheek Kiss Blush in Nude Kiss, which I just got in, and I love it so much. That's all I have for blush on right now. I don't have a powder on top or anything. And I put this right on top of powder, and it's so stunning. Little mini reviews there for you, but that is not what today's video is about. Today's video is about the dupes for this Natasha Denona Zendo, which mine is like already so dirty. I've done a couple of looks like in just like regular life. I did a first impressions video on this palette, so if you missed that, I will have it in the description box down below. I did swatches and did two looks, one on each eye, and I've been able to create a couple of different looks like just day to day, but I had mentioned in that video I was going to do a dupes video, and so that's what I'm doing today. Now, when I say dupes, I'm definitely focused on drugstore / affordable price point dupes, and there were two that just jumped out at me right away that I wanted to kind of explore, and I'm going to be looking at in this video. The first one is the LA Girl Hey Hey Vacay palette. This is called, what is this palette? It just says Hey Hey Vacay, but I know it has like a name, and it's not on here. Why Why are you not on here? But this is what it looks like. And it has like a little sticky protective cover over it that has the shade names on it. And here's what the shadows look like. So let's just take a look side by side. Like this is really similar, right? And this is $15 or $14.99, $15.99. And this one is $65. So I have not had a chance to like put this on my eyes. I did swatch them side by side. I'll insert some pictures here, or a picture of them side by side just so you can see. I feel like some of the shades are like really close and some are not that close. So, I mean, they're close, but they're not like an exact dupe. But can you get like really similar looks with just this palette? If the Natasha Denona is outside your budget, 1000%. Like just with the tones. I can't speak to the formula because like I said, I haven't put it on my eyes yet. But just the tones, I feel like you're getting the same looks. Now the other dupe-ish, I use it loosely, dupe. Like the palette that I thought of right away when I saw Zendo was the BH Santa Fe palette. Like it has the vibes. And I did swatch out some of the shades and I found quite a few dupes in this. So I'm going to just insert a picture of the side-by-side dupes, just the shades that I found that were close, and they were pretty close. Obviously, Santa Fe doesn't have like all of these greens here. They only have the one, just that one greenish blue shade. But a lot of the warmer shades are in here and the neutrals as well. So I feel like you can get definitely similar looks if you have that palette already in your collection. So I just wanted to do this video for people who, looked at this and were like, man, I want it, but like I just can't justify the purchase. So there are other options out there. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is creating a look side by side. So I figured I would just do it with this palette since this palette is new. It's $15 and it's out now at Ulta and I think CVS. I don't know where else they're carried. I just know Ulta and CVS carry it. I picked up mine at Ulta. But I just thought this would be like, this is pretty close because there's so many shades that are similar. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do Natasha Denona on the right and LA Colors on the left. I'm just going to go first and prime my eyes. I'm just going to use this Haley's Beauty Concealer just because that is what I have in front of me right now, and that's what I used on my face. I was like trying it out for TikTok. I didn't realize it was going to be so light. I'm using their sponge also, which, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with the sponge. Obsessed. It's so soft and like just even soft for the touch. It's like the most like velvety soft sponge I think I've ever used. But this shade, as you can see, is super light, but it works with for like an eyeshadow base because it just blanks out the lids. Also going to take their powder and just set that down because I just like to set my lids. Some people do it, some people don't. I do. My first thought is to do a peach look. I did this look the other day that was so pretty, but I don't know if I can recreate it because these colors are too different. I could give her a shot. Okay, so the first shade I'm gonna go in with is the shade Balance, which is this sort of, it's almost like a caramel shade. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pack that on my outer V. I will say I have definitely been enjoying the Zendo palette, but I stand by my position that I really wish there was a lighter lid shade / inner corner shade in this palette because I think that would have made this my favorite palette. But because I don't have that, to me, for my preferences, it's not a complete palette. Like I need that shade. And I know a lot of you guys were saying like I should get the GLAM then because I've been dying to get GLAM and just pop the shadows out. That is one thing about Natasha Denona shadows that are, it's just amazing. You can just take like a tweezer and you can stick it in these holes and just pop the shadow like right out. And you can like mix them around so that the order isn't, like if this isn't the order you want, you could change it. Or you can take shades from one of the other palettes that are this size and pop it in there. And so some of you guys were telling me that I should just do that with the GLAM because they have some lighter champagne-y shades in that palette. I would love that. I really think she should sell singles because it sucks that I have to buy a $65 palette in order to do that. However, it's something that I might do at some point because I don't think GLAM is going anywhere. It's not a limited edition palette and it's so beautiful and I've always wanted it. So it'll be something that I treat myself to at some point. All right, so in this palette, I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade here. And you know, this is the one downside to some like affordable palettes is they put the names on this and like, I guess, oh, it's on the back. I take it back. It's on the back. So this shade is called Tan Lines. And I am going to put that on my dupe side. And I'm using a different brush. This brush isn't quite as dense, so I might have to work a little harder to pack this on. And that's not the shadow's fault. That's because my brush is not the same. Brushes actually matter. This brush that I'm using is an MOTD brush, and it's actually quite a nice brush, but it's gonna give a different effect because the bristles are not as dense. Like the other one, you see like it packed the color on. I'm gonna try using this different brush from Luxie. It's much more dense. I mean, the color, obviously, it's not the same formula, so it's going to apply different regardless. Like I'm getting more depth with the Natasha shade than I am with the LA Girl shade. If you guys can hear that, they're building a house behind me. It's like these contractors, they're going around the neighborhood and buying up all the lots in my neighborhood and just building houses on them for no one. Super nice of them. It's like they're not even done building one and they're already knocking down lots to build the next one. It's so frustrating. But the real estate is like booming around here. I'm like, didn't I move here to get away from people? Oh, funny. Funny because it's true. All right, so that is that shade. It's a really nice shade, but as you can see, I got like a lot of depth with the Natasha Denona one. I feel like I could probably blend that a little bit better, but like it almost looks like I have two shades because when I blend hers out, like I didn't lose the depth in there, you know? But it blends out as if it was two shades, which is, you know, what makes her shadows, I mean, her shadows are obviously very special. But I still think that looks good. All right, I'm gonna take the deeper brown color here called Mindful, and I am going to pack that on the outer V, just deepening things up even further. I have no idea where we're going here, but we're just going. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking this shade, which is called Tropicool. I would say the LA Girl shadows are actually easier to work with. They blend out easier and kind of smoother, where the Natasha Denona shadows are much more intense, but they take more work to blend, for sure. I'm just going to take some of Relief and some of Calm together. And I'm going to actually go along the edges on the top, just to, I don't know, just to add some more like warmth and corally goodness to this look. You know, summer vibes. I think I'm going to concentrate some of it in this inner corner too. And then I'm just going to take a clean brush and go ahead and buff that out. All right, so in this palette, I'm going to take this shade and these two. These are the similar shades, and those are called Sandal and Heat. And I am going to do the same thing. Ooh, those are kind of pigmented. That's looking pretty similar. Next, I'm going to take this shade Yama. Now, Yama is I believe it's a duochrome. It's kind of like pink, but it has like a green shift to it. I'm actually going to wet it. This is a unique shade, but I feel like I can maybe do some mixing with the LA Girl shades to get a similar vibe. And I'll show you what I mean. The only thing with the duochromes is like I wish they were more metallic than they are. They're just a little bit lackluster in terms of like sheen. I just want more from them, you know? If you apply them with your finger, they do give you a little bit more in terms of the metallicness. But I still just wish they would give me more than they're giving me. Okay, so now in this palette, what I'm gonna do to get the similar shade is I'm gonna mix this color here with this color here. So that is XOXO and Glowin'. So those two together, now these are gonna be more foiled than the Natasha Denona one. I already know because I swatched them. They're more foiled, more metallic, and this is the only thing, or one of the other only things about the Natasha Denona palette that is a little bit disappointing. And that is that there's not more like metallic-y goodness, because I am a metallic-y goodness lover. I just love me some metallic-y goodness. I just do. Now this combo, it doesn't have the green shift that Yama has, because Yama is a very special shade, but I feel like it does give the vibes. So then I'm gonna go on top of that with some of Luster, this gold shade here, and I'm just gonna take it with my finger. Now this is the most shimmery goodness this palette has to offer. This is the most metallic shade. Well, actually, I take that back. Of the warmer tones, the cooler tones have some pop to them. I am going to take this shade here called Sunkist. And this one is very close. Like the tones in this are very, very similar. And this is a nice, buttery, beautiful formula. Actually, I'm going to use a different finger here. The Natasha one just has a little bit of a deeper golden hue to it, but like, I think they're really, really close. All right, and just in the interest of trying out as many shades as possible, I'm going to take some of Sense, which is right here. This is one of my favorite shades in the palette, and I'm going to just go over the center. I really do this in almost every look, where I pop a shade in that's shimmery but deeper, that like bridges both my outer corner and my inner lid shades together, because I just like the look of like that ombre situation. This color is just gorge. I would wear that all over my whole lid. And then this color is not the same, but it is close, and that is Take Me. This one doesn't have as much of a burnt effect to it as the other one, but this shade right here has a little bit of pink in it. It's called Memories. So that one, if you added it to it, you could add like a little bit of that warmth to it. It's not going to be the same, but we're just going for vibes here. So they're not really looking that similar at all, actually. Also, something to note is the LA Girl side has a glitter shower far worse than the Natasha side. On the Natasha side, I have no fallout at all. And this side, I have all kinds of fallout. All right, so for my lower lash line, I'm going to take Mantra from the Natasha Denona. And I'm going to run this all along my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the shade Flow, which is this shimmery one, and I'm going to go right on top of that to add a little pop of shimmer. Okay. I'm just going to wipe that brush off. I'm going to use the same brush for this because I don't have another pencil brush handy. But I am going to take this shade here called Sia. And I'm going to just do the same thing. Ooh, that one like pops. And then this shade here at the end called Go Maui. I feel like that Sia shade is like way brighter than the Mantra shade. Like the LA Girl greens are like way poppin', whereas like the Natasha ones are a little bit more like muted. This one is like bright, but I definitely have way more fallout on the LA Girl side for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and put my mascara on and finish the rest of my face, and I'll come back and show you the two looks side by side finished, and then I will give you my final thoughts. Okay, so all said and done, here's the two looks side by side. Remember, this is Natasha and this is LA Colors, or LA Girl. Did I say LA Colors? Now that I'm looking at them both, the only difference to me, just looking at them, is that the brown and there's more depth and dimension on this side than this side. And then this lid shade is a bit lighter, but like the lower lash line on this side is a bit brighter as well. And the Natasha green colors are more muted. But all in all, when I look at these side by side, like I'm not seeing like such an obvious difference where I'm like, yeah, that's definitely the high-end side. Like, would you know? By the way, I put these Kiss Faux Mink lashes on and I just cut them in half. So those are on. And I did put this Urban Decay liner in overdrive in my waterline, my outer waterline. I have like a little bit of like fallout that happened in this inner corner, and that didn't really happen in this inner corner. Performance-wise, there was definitely a difference in the way that they performed. These shadows from LA Girl were softer and they blended out easier, but they lacked the level of dimension. The Natasha shadows are definitely more dense and harder to blend out. They're not hard to blend out. They blend out beautifully, but they're harder to blend out than the LA Girl shadows, but they're offering so much more dimension. So there's that. Like I said, I mean, my only critique, aside from not having a champagne shade, is that, you know, the lighter, aside from this shadow here, Yama and Tranquil and Aura are just not giving it to me with the metallicness that I would like. You know, the cool tones have lots of metallic to them, especially like Equilibrium and Flow. Just feel like it's missing that really super foiled champagne shade. That's what I want in my life. That's what I'm missing. But the LA Girl palette does have that, and it has a few of them, actually. Like this one here, and then this one here, and then there's this one here, which we didn't even use. Actually, I feel like that one could have been more of that Yama. No, it's not deep enough, but it's a pretty one. So like it has lots of lighter shades, so it definitely has the advantage there. And of course, there's the price point, you know, of it being $15 for this palette versus $65 for this. So it just really is up to you, but as you can see, the looks are pretty similar. I mean, they're similar enough, I think, to be considered a dupe. What do you guys think? Let me know, like, do you have stricter standards for dupes? Do they have to be exact? Or do you think this is a dupe? Like, what would you say? Dupe or not to dupe? Leave me a comment, let me know. Let me know what you guys think about the look, what you think about the overall performance based on like what we just did. Would you rather get the Natasha Denona and have a bit more depth and dimension with no fallout? Or would you rather save your coin and get the LA Girl and get the similar look for less? So that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell so you never miss when I upload a video. You can follow me on social. My handle's @GlamLatte. Don't forget the Glam Latte Beauty Podcast is everywhere you listen to podcasts. All those details are in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.